Hi, this is Steve Anderson. My website is Apologia. It is a repository of recorded audio slash video conversations with many of my Facebook friends. Today, I'm speaking with Gilbert Najm. Gilbert is a professional billiard player. He and his wife Nicole live in Los Angeles. Please enjoy my conversation with my friend Gilbert Najm. I'm speaking to Gilbert Najm, and it's good to see you, Gilbert. I haven't had a chance to speak with you in some time. While I had my billiard products on traffic control caroms, you were kind enough to support me and purchase some things from me. So that was, well, you've always been very supportive. So I appreciate that. So anyhow, how's things going?
Hi, Steve. Good, good. How are you? Actually, it's thank you to having me with this nice interview. Uh, we haven't talked in a while, you're right. The first time we met, I think it was 2009
Yes.
in Grand Rapids.
Yes, exactly. Matter of fact, you ended up in the finals in that tournament, did you not?
Yeah, yeah, I did. I was lucky at that time. So,
Very good. Yeah.
yes,
Well, maybe we should start out. Most everyone, in my mind, in the billiard scene here in the United States, and for that matter in the world, knows Gilbert Najm. But why don't you take just a couple minutes, if you might, to introduce yourself and give us a little bio, if you will.
sure. Well, Steve, I started the game at age of 13. The first time I was exposed to the game. Uh, I played till I age of 18. Uh, I played decent games, decent play, and after I was in a transition to go to architectural school or to be a billiard player, and I end up doing architectural school since billiard didn't give me many opportunities around,
Ah,
and I spent 7 years doing architecture. I played a little bit, but not enough. And after when I graduated, I went to work in a place where they don't have billiards at all.
oh,
And I spent like 5 years without billiards.
hmm,
I came I came to the States in 2007, and I start seeing billiards around and get involved with tournaments and little
sure.
little clubs. That's a little bit background about myself. I love the game, and I like to see billiard players doing well.
Yeah, well, you do a nice job, by the way, in being a commentator too. It's one thing to know the game and to be able to intelligently talk about the different shots and why someone is doing this and that. But it's just very good demeanor that you present yourself well. So I think you're a very good ambassador to the game. So I'm glad you decided to move to the United States, and all things are well.
Thank you.
So yeah. Well, let's get into a couple things. Boy, you got a nice little place in Burbank, the Elks Lodge. I was checking it out online. I unfortunately have not been there. I'd love to go, but can you give us a touch of what that's about? You've actually run some tournaments there, haven't you?
Yeah, yeah. The Elks usually it's like a generous charitable organization,
Uh
been
huh.
around for 140 years in the United States, and they have a program that helps scholarships and veterans. So it's actually about charity. And
Oh,
what
great.
happens through the and what happens through the years, they start having clubs and billiards, and in many lodges around the country, we have like 2,000 lodges.
Wow.
One of the 2,000, and one of the lodges is in Burbank, where I used to live. It's like
Uh-huh.
maybe like 1 mile from the airport, from the Burbank airport. Nice
Okay.
location, prime location, huge parking. We have a billiard room with 5 Hooven table, and
Really? You got 5 there. Fantastic.
yeah, 5 donated by Ray Mortel in 2002. We have 1 pool table, and we have 1 golf table and little library in the
Oh,
billiard
okay.
room. So
Oh, great. Oh, well, that's nice to have. As you know, you've been to our the club we had. It has since closed, the Carom Club in Wyoming, Michigan. But that was kind of nice too. We had 4 tables, and it's nice to have a club where you have members, and you can do leagues and tournaments, and so that's
sure,
great.
you have a good club. We do as well. We have around 48 members
Oh,
that
wonderful.
play three cushion, and we run events. We did many qualifiers for the USBA. We did the biggest one, as far as I know, it was like 24 players,
Oh,
which
great.
wasn't bad. So, but we enjoy the game. The club is nice, and we can have more events in the future. So,
Oh, good, good. Well, before we get into some really meaty issues, one thing I did, because I always like to ask players the equipment that they use, because I think, well, it's very important. I mean, uh, the argument that a good player can play with a broomstick, perhaps that might be a cute phrase, but it's just absolutely not true. With the kind of equipment and the low deflection shafts and the way the tips are designed today, the balance of the cue, and there's nothing wrong with a beautiful aesthetic cue either. What are you playing with these days? And help me with that.
of course. Well, I've been playing with long cone cues. I use the Mediterranean style, the one that Codron played in 2015. He won
Oh,
the world
okay.
championship, and he came to LA for a tournament. So it ended up on my hand. So I love the
Ah,
cue.
ah,
Uh, and I use S30 shaft, laminated shaft
sure.
with Longoni, and it's a decent shaft. The S20, S30, they're very similar, and I use Kamui tips,
Oh, okay. Is
layered.
that a soft tip or what? What?
I use the soft. Soft Kamui is like medium for other brands,
Okay.
so
Yep.
soft is fine. Yes, so that's what I use, and I use a Tiger chalk from Tiger
Oh,
products.
okay.
And the gloves from Kamui, of course. That's all I have.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's get into some things, and one of the reasons you and I wanted to have some conversation is there's been some let's just say some changes that are taking place. One can argue whether these are all positive or negative, or what side one falls on. But basically, there's some changes. But first, let's start with national issue here in the United States. Uh, Rumor has it that and you correct me if or disagree with me if I'm on the wrong track here or misinformation regarding the USBA. It's not doing so well on actually many fronts, but one may be financially that. Um, there's been some member loss, and so consequently, We're not getting the membership dues coming in. And if you look at the tournament schedule, it's, to be kind, I would call it sparse. There's not a whole lot going on. So what do you know about what's going on with the USBA? And I understand that there is a competitor now, so to speak, that is in the name of Mason Shuney, who is setting up a tournament tour, a schedule. Share with me your information.
Of course. Steve, both of us, we served on the board of directors with the USBA previously.
Mm-hmm.
And the issue started a long time ago. We have the USBA. I want to tell the viewers that I have a life membership with the USBA. I support them whatever they do. I love billiards, so I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna go direct to the point. The USBA being with the for the last 10 years being run by one-man show most of the time. We have board, we have issues. At end of the day, there is only one person that runs the organization.
Hmm.
And any organization cannot be run by one. It should be run by a group of people with a pyramid. You have to treat it like kind of business somehow, and everybody should be involved.
Yes.
Now, for the past 7 to 8 years, membership was dropping.
Yes.
In general, hello.
There was just a little audio glitch, but I think we're back.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
We have many issues with the membership. The average age in this country is not. We don't have many youth, so it's like in the 60 years old and above, the average age that plays free cushion, because nobody tried to create program that helps youth and kids to play billiards.
Right.
Beside the direction, beside the issues. This is a subject like it can go on and on and on. But what happened is that presidents, whoever they come, they create a program, they get money, they make a tournament, and the best player in the country end up winning the tournaments. And with many years going on and on and on, we don't have younger people. Nobody focus on them. Nobody tried to say, you know what, I wanna work on in each state to have like 2 new members only, 2 new kids playing the game, and support them, give them free time, because to play billiards is expensive, $14 an hour. So for the kid to start playing the game, it's gonna cost them like $100-something a week, just to have fun.
Yes.
Unless he joined like a private club like yours or like the Elks Club, they can
Yes.
save money.
Sure.
But in general, we had an issues, and if you focus on 2 players every year, and you develop 10 players a year, within 10 years you will have 100. But nobody willing to work, because we don't have enough people to work. Anyway, so the presidency happened with Bruce Warner, and after Dennis Diekman, which is we lost. It was a huge loss for billiards. And after we had Jim Chobak.
R.I.P. to Dennis.
Yeah, R.I.P. Yeah. And later we got Jim Chobak, that he loved the game. He worked so hard. He spent a lot of money on the game. And through the years, I don't care how much you have money. If you don't have system, you're gonna end up losing all the money running the tournament at the event, because you have no sponsorship, you have nothing to bring back money, so you end up spending money on and on and on. And for the recent years, for the last 3 years, I think Mason got involved with the USBA. He's always been involved. He became a president.
Yes.
He tried to make tournaments, run events. And again, it was only one-man show because
Yes.
people didn't help him, or he, when you're in a certain position and you make decisions, very quick decisions, you don't ask people, you end up in a different direction. And Mason loved the game. He honestly got rejected from many people. We have a split when he was president, so between many states, the East and the West, and New York, we had issues. I mean, let's be honest, we have issues. Uh, Nobody helped the USBA. We had people like spending money on tournaments like uh, David Levine, Bob Jewett,
Sure.
Bruce Warner donate money. They help, but actually
Absolutely.
all the money that happens, it went to the prize money. It
Yep.
never happened to events and to create a program for younger people to play the game. Let's put it that way. So,
Yeah. Well, let me, if I may, play the devil's advocate here a moment.
sure.
Um, is it possible that it's not the problem with the organization? Is it possible that young men and young women in the United States have no interest in playing billiards? Everything has become video games, and and the tactile sports seem to be waning. Whether that, I mean, look at the bowling alleys that have closed throughout the nation, and the pool halls. We both know just tens and hundreds of rooms that through the last since you've been here in the States that are gone. And so, is our sport viable in the United States?
Yeah, well, you brought a very good idea. We globally we have an issue with billiards. Let's face it. Some countries do more than others. In the States, and they stopped the smoking in the pool rooms, people lost a lot of businesses. The rent went is really high. And still the dollar on the billiard table is still the same. The time you pay $10 to
Yes, yes,
$12 for the last
right.
15, 20
Yeah,
years.
exactly.
And the rent just keep multiplying. And with time, a pool room couldn't afford anymore doing it. The It's a good point. The communities that we have, which has come in not the greatest areas, but we have the Hispanic community, we have the Korean community, we have the Vietnamese community.
Yes,
That's the people who play the game mostly.
absolutely. If it
You
wasn't
know,
for them, Gilbert, we'd be in a lot more trouble.
exactly. And and the other people that they grew up in this country in the 60s, in the 70s, in the 80s, they end up now in small clubs or a table at home. They don't have anywhere to play. But the communities, the the communities that I mentioned,
May I
uh,
interrupt?
of
Excuse
course,
me. Is your microphone by your clipboard? What are you
uh,
using to audio with your voice? And the
I'm
only
using
reason
my
I'm asking is I'm getting some sort of clicking, and I don't know if it's attached to your clipboard or what, but I lost your voice for a second there. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's fine. It's sometimes the Bluetooth is connecting to somewhere else, it seems.
Oh, okay. It's a
Yeah,
Bluetooth issue. Oh, well,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
technology. We can't do anything about that. Go ahead. I
Okay,
apologize for
no,
interrupting.
no, that's fine, Steve. So nobody did anything for these communities. They play in their own environment. We have tournament for them. They join, they don't. A lot of people, they don't have a green card to play big events or nationals. So you're gonna end up losing a lot of people.
Yes.
Nobody create events or create a formula for these guys to come together. If I want to have an organization, I should have somebody representing the Korean community, somebody representing the Vietnamese community, and we need a lot of people to help, and we don't.
Yeah.
Uh, but you mentioned technology is a big part of it. We're losing a lot of billiard rooms, a lot of pool halls. Uh, this is what's happening. But we have a large members. They play the game, and we have a lot of new pool rooms in LA. We have some tournaments. The local tournaments get to 80, 83 players a week.
Okay, so having said that, and I happen to agree with everything you just said, uh, uh, however, do you see the USBA able to run a tournament tour? Is there a competition between Mason's tour? Is there friction between the two organizations, or are they trying to work together? What is your sense of that relationship?
Well, of course, it's going to create tension between the USBA and the new organization. The new organization is by Mason, called Three Cushion USA.
Yes,
Mason had a few contracts with the casinos in Tucson, and they have a budget for tournaments. And this is how he started the events.
that's wonderful.
And it's good for the game. We had
Absolutely.
he had like over 50 something players, and the event is nice. Mason tried to help the game. Uh, it's all billiards. We have to sit together on a table, talk USBA or new organization or whatever you call it. We have to come up with plans. What if you have 6 tournaments or if you have 12 tournaments? What's wrong with it? If we have enough tournaments, that will be great for the players, right? I
Sure.
mean, uh,
Right.
so
Exactly.
that's what I think it is. It's mostly it is, and when we need more people involved between USBA, between members, between the new organization. But
So it's a
Stephen,
win-win. It can be a win-win.
of course, it can
Yeah,
be. There is nothing wrong with it. I can play the USBA events, and I can go play the new organization tournament, so I can make more money. So why not?
sure. Yeah. No, that makes perfect sense. And I'll tell you, the job Daniel and Geraldine they do, uh, you know, with their streaming, I think they do an excellent job, and that is a real plus too.
Yeah.
So, shout out to them as well. So, all right, well, good. The time is short, and
Okay.
speaking of the big fat elephant in the room, let's talk about the real big fat elephant in the room, and that is the UMB and the problem with South Korea um, having their own organization and all the ramifications. If I may read a statement, um, if I'm, it shouldn't take too long. Here's a statement from the UMB. Like in any other sport, the UMB is bound to its democratically approved rules and statutes to protect the interests of all affiliated members, partners, sponsors, event organizers, and most of all, players in all at all sport levels and with equal opportunities. All UMB members in all affiliated confederations are aware of the implications of these rules and statutes that sometimes may accordingly result in sanctions against these infringements. So let's cut the terminology out of it, and basically what Farouk is saying is that this is the organization. If there are players that are not going to abide by the organization, they may not be able to play in the UMB Tour. Is that how you understand it, or am I reading into something that's not there?
Not only UMB Tour, you cannot play nationals, you cannot
Oh,
play
yes, true.
European, you cannot play any tournament
That's
with the
right.
federation. So
Yes,
for the viewers, the UMB Union Mondiale de Billard, it's it controls the confederations, and the confederations control the federations in each country. And if they ban you from playing, you actually cannot play for any tournament affiliated with the federation or the confederation, like Pan American or
sure.
the CPB, whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just Steve. Just to start something, in the 90s, I grew up watching Tourbillon Blondal, and he's been dominating the game for the last 30 years.
Sure.
As you know, him, Dick Jasper, Saginair,
Yep.
this Marco Zanetti played a lot, semifinals, but the top players, uh, it's just like 4 or 5 of them for the last 30 years. They've been winning the tournaments. My idea is, if I'm a player, I'm ranked number 30 or number 40, and I've been going for 20 years, try to win these tournaments. And we have legends like Blondal, Caudron,
Sure.
Dick Jasper.
Yes.
You can call them many. It's very hard to win. You're
Yes.
gonna end up break even with your expenses.
If
You're
you're
gonna end up
lucky.
losing money if you're
Yep.
lucky.
Yeah.
Uh, so so anybody try to help the players is a positive thing. I support them. I'm a player myself. Uh, we struggle all the time, and if somebody came up with a new idea, say I want to create a professional like a PGA for billiards. The problem that we're having is that DUMB control everybody,
Hmm.
which is fine. They work hard. They
Yes.
create the organization. Uh, they have association with Kuzum and contract. That Kuzum, by the way, it's a live streaming company in France. It's the CEO is Xavier Carré, and the owner, the main investor, is Bernard Baudouin. These guys, they spend a lot of money investing in this organization, and they don't,
Absolutely.
and they don't want to lose it. And I totally understand where they're coming from, and I support them. I'm not against them. We disagree sometimes, but they spend millions of dollars, and they expect the return somehow, right?
And my subscription for a year is so ridiculously low. I'm getting all of the top players in the top tournaments. They have an area, a forum area. They have the archives of all the tournaments that go back a long time. There's just so much there. They have a store that is that covers almost all the equipment one would need. Kazum is just a wonderful company, and I'm a big supporter of Kazum.
Yeah, it's the best thing that happened to billiard, honestly. Uh,
Yes,
and they want to protect themselves. I
of
totally
course.
agree. I don't want the new company or new TV company shut me down or take over billiards, because Steve, 80% of the billiards in the world is played in Korea. We're talking 80%. They have the numbers, and sooner or later, they're gonna take over the ranking. They're gonna take over the companies. Maybe UMB president is gonna be Korean in 5, 7 years, because they
No,
have the numbers. They
yeah,
have millions of players.
yeah, I
They have.
understand.
I heard they have 1.2 million players play the game in Korea.
Well, you make such a
So
great point. I mean, look at some of the South Korean players, and of course I'm 65, so most of these people look like they're in elementary school, some of these these
yeah,
young players, but it's so exciting to see these young players. And like you said before, sure, I love Bloomdahl and Caudrone and Jaspers and Marco Zanetti, and I could go on and on and
sure.
on with the list of people I've grown up with and watching. But you don't see many young players. Uh, there are some, Peter Kuhlman's, and I can name a list of them, but for the most part, it's the older generation, and South Korea and Vietnam
Of
uh,
course.
is going to take over. So
The market, the billiard market is shifting. And top players predicted it a while ago. It's shifting to Korea. They manufacture, they do everything in a professional way. Uh, they have the numbers. Now, in terms of business, to me, it's all about business, about money. Let's put it this way.
sure,
If billiard is booming in Korea, I'm gonna move to Korea, do manufacture, try to get involved with tables, queues, and anyone. The UMB controls the federation and have a good relation with everybody. But anybody wanna create something, they wanna be in charge. They wanna have fees. They have a pressure. But again, you cannot ban player. Caudron to me today. Uh, I know Dick Casper is number one in the world in the ranking, but Frederic Caudron is like Tiger Woods. Uh, he's Tiger Woods of billiards, and I love watching him, and people love watching him. And this guy, he's been winning many tournaments, not as much money as golf or any other sport. LeBron James make every day
yeah,
$113,000
sure,
on it every day. You,
yeah.
you know what I mean? So if a billiard player one tournament make 40,000 or 50 or 30, and he win two tournaments a year, we don't have to say, oh, we give him money. No, these guys work hard on their game. They
Right.
travel all year
Oh,
long.
absolutely. Yeah, I'm a
Uh,
big supporter of the players. Which, not to interject, but we're talking about money now in the game. Have you heard whether the McCreary tournament in New York City is going to be again in 2019, or was that just a one-off?
no, I heard it's gonna be 2020, 2 years, every
Okay,
2 years,
okay,
every
2
other
years.
year.
All right. Okay, that I'm glad you cleared that up because I wasn't sure. Well, that's good. At least we have another tournament with big money. I mean,
It's amazing. But what happened actually? The UMB got involved with the McCreary tournament, right? Which is we were talking they're involved in any events, but the USBA wasn't invited to the tournament. No
yes,
president,
yes.
no USBA. Now, how you expect the federation to react since UMB always say we're in control, we try to help, and I'm sure I haven't heard both sides of the stories, but for the players, what's going on? It's really weird, weird
To me,
situation.
it would have just been just a mere courtesy for the UMB, uh, one of the representatives, whether it's the president, I probably mispronounce his name, Farouk, but how do you pronounce his name?
Yeah, you're right, Farouk Barfi. Yeah,
Farouk.
yeah,
Uh,
perfect.
could have contacted Mason or someone, with the USBA and at least pretend, like they cared about our organization in the United States. So,
Sure,
uh,
because UMB made money from the event. They didn't go for free. They made money from the event.
yeah,
They make money from everybody, Steve. Let's put it this way, which is fine. They want to promote the game. They want to help. But if you make money from a U.S. Tournament, one of the biggest prize money. Wouldn't you think we can help the U.S. Bay a little bit? I'm just saying.
No, you're not going to get an argument from me.
Yeah.
Well,
So
I could go on and because it's always fun to speak with you, but
thank you.
time is not our friend right now. So what I'd like to do is maybe step back from some of the controversy with the UMB and South Korea and kind of finish off in kind of a more positive. Not that what we didn't talk about isn't positive, but I mean, just
Sure.
kind of so on a bright note, wow, you talked about Fred winning the 2019 Survival 3C Masters. Um, I like. I don't know if you like the format of this survival format. I actually like it. It's different. You got to get used to it. It's like anything else. But there's one table, there's four players, and they're going at it. And so I think it's a nice diversion from the typical World Cup concept, if you will. Your thoughts?
It's at the beginning, it sounded really like odd to see this kind of tournament format because we're not used to it, obviously. To me, I think billiards is like tennis, is like individual sport. You come up with a new format, it's great. And believe it or not, when the event is on, I wake up all night, I watch live. I don't watch recorded videos, so I always watch live.
Yes.
And the event was so tense. The semifinals.
Yes. That was
The,
awesome.
there is a scene in the event in the semifinal between Caudron, Merckx, Sanchez, and the
Yeah,
two.
yeah.
All of them averaged over two.
I know.
Uh, the level was so high and the tension. And, I like how they put the cameras on their faces.
Oh, yeah.
So everybody was tense, and I was excited. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
wasn't rooting for individual.
No,
I
me
want
either.
competition.
I wanted them all to play well as far as I
I
was
know,
concerned.
I know.
Yeah.
It was nice. And on the other semifinal, we had Zanetti, Dick Jasper. Zanetti, I think he's beautiful to watch. He's good for the game.
Oh,
He
he
has like
sure
a
is.
different expression. But
Yes.
it
He's
makes the
more
game
colorful.
interesting. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, he's Italian, 100%.
Yeah, I like the guy. I like the way he plays. I like his touch. There's not much I don't like about Marco Zanetti. Well, okay, that's good. I agree. It was a blast watching it. Uh, when do you know offhand when the USBA Nationals wasn't there a conflict because the Pan American Championship, I believe. There was a time conflict, so we had to change the dates. Is that how you understand it?
Yeah, 100%. The US, the Nationals, I think it's gonna be May 16 to May 19. I think it's in that range. It's gonna be in May in Houston,
Oh, okay.
Bida's club.
Oh,
It happened there, I think, in 2013 or 14 somehow. They do repetition there. It's a nice people, nice environment.
Verhoeven tables. Yeah, they
Yeah,
got
yeah.
good equipment.
They took the initials on the. I'm not sure what's the table at this room because I remember the last time I was there, it was Gabriel. So I'm
Oh,
not sure if they're gonna play on Verhoeven. I'm not sure. I
okay.
could be
Well,
wrong.
I stand corrected. I could certainly be wrong. I thought they were Verhoeven, but I guess that doesn't matter. The fact is, Houston is a hotbed for billiards, and it's a great thing that we're having the national championship there. One last thing, the casino in Tucson, Arizona, is just a wonderful uh, uh, tournament. I think isn't it like twice a year, once in the winter and then also once in the summer. Is that correct? So
Yeah,
we
they
have
do
that
like it
coming up
generally.
too, don't we?
Yeah, they're coming up. I think they're due May 27 to June 1st.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's open, I think, to 64 players,
Oh,
and it's
okay.
going to be handicapped.
Oh, okay.
They
But all the top players are able to play in it, not like the B tournament in January, correct?
Correct, but they have to give a lot of weight, a lot of points
Oh,
for
okay. Sure.
handicap, which
Sure.
is fine. You know,
Yeah.
it has to be fair. You know, they pay a little bit more on the entry fee, and they can go higher points. But it's a fun tournament, and I think the casino added maybe like another $5,000 for the event,
That's great.
a great. You know,
Yeah.
great for
Are
the
you
game,
going to
of
be
course.
playing in it then?
You know, I'm planning on playing, of course. I try to play as many tournaments as I like, but sometimes you're busy or working. So billiard is beautiful. So if I
Sure.
don't play, I watch.
Sure, sure. Well, I want to thank you for taking the time and us having this conversation. And if there's any parting thoughts or things you'd like to, or a thing you'd like to mention, and before we wrap up.
Well, I support all the players around the world, and I support organizations and people that spend time and money and effort to make billiard beautiful. We cannot afford to lose any parties. We should all get together, sit on a table, discuss, and come up with solutions. And please don't put restrictions and ban players.
I agree.
It's awful. So
Well,
that's it.
yep. Well, on that note, I just want to say you're a great ambassador for our wonderful, beautiful game. And it's always good to chat with you. And I hope to see or talk to you soon.
Thank you, Stephen. Thanks for
All
having me.
right.
That was
Thank you
great.
so
Thanks.
much. Yep.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Bye.